Yeah, hello. Welcome to a new video. This time we are going to look at trade, especially some Ware distribution. Um, yeah, because seems there is still some questions around. So I decided to make this setup where I have my HQ in Oceans of Fantasy, and this HQ only has production. So basically, it doesn't. It's a not quite self-sustaining production because it doesn't have any energy, and it also has no um, subordinates mining or uh, trading for it. So it only buys things. So as you can see, it will buy methane, it will buy helium, energy cells, silicon, and hydrogen. Yeah, no traders assigned to it, or miners. I'll show you this here. There are no subordinates. Again, this is just a random station I set up. This is not balanced or anything. It's just to showcase an idea. So anyway, so I decided to create solar power plant in Mercury because it has 608 in 80 stellar output. So I have a solar power plant here, and as you can see, it will produces a lot of energy. This station also does not have any subordinates. It only produces things, and in this case also sells to the AI or the NPCs, but we don't care about that. Another production I have is in Bright Promise because it also has a good stellar output, not as good as Mercury, obviously. It produces a bit less energy, so that's why it's a bit empty. So, and the other quote-unquote production is in Rogue's Demise, where I have a mining outpost slash trading station, where it basically mines some of the resources we require. So helium, methane, and silicon is being mined here and then moved to Oceans of Fantasy. I'll show you that in a bit. The other quote-unquote production is in Getsufune, where we also have some mining set up for hydrogen. The reasons is this region is good for hydrogen because I can mine in both Getsufune and also in asteroid belt, which has a good amount. So I blacklisted the miners to only mine in these two systems. Right, so how do we get the wares to Oceans of Fantasy? And again, no repeat orders or no manual moving. This is all only with subordinates. So we can start in Getsufune. As I showed you, we have the energy cells set up here, and we're buying them for as cheap as we can because Mercury is selling them for as cheap as we can as well. So we have set up quite a few traders, and they will go to Mercury to my solar power plant because I have set up to trade only with my stations and buy all the energy they can. I set up to buy at 5 million, and then I set it up to be sold for 14 credits. Again, this is arbitrary, doesn't really need to be this number, but I will explain the reason why 14 and not, for example, 11 in just a bit. So now we have basically this station set up to buy energy cell for as cheap as they can, and the only place that this is true is Mercury. Because within the 5 sector range for my 5-star manager, no other of my stations sell energy for 10. So they will always go to buy in Mercury. And because I set them to sell to 14, they also will only sell to stations within this range that buy for at least 14. But I will come to that in a second. From the other side, in Bright Promise, I have the same thing, but in this case they share the sector. So the station here, the trading station, only has energy cells to buy, again, for as cheap as we can, because this is the first step. And here we are selling it for 12. Again, this is not really important, it's just, it will make sense in a second. So we have, again, defined maximum buy price is 10, which is only this station, and we are selling it for 12. Within this range, I have set up in 18 billion another trading station. Click this. And this trading station is buying energy cells for 12. Right? So in this case, it can both buy, well, it could buy energies from both my solar power plant and my trading station. The thing is, this station also doesn't have any subordinates. It only serves as a bridging point for range, because the next station I want the energy cells to go to is further away than five jumps. So this station receives trades from subordinates from the first trading station in Bright Promise, which is selling energy for 12, which this station buys, so it's a match. And this same station also sells the same energy for 14. Now, because it's selling for 14, we can guarantee it doesn't go upstream. This is logical, right? So basically we say to the subordinates from the trading station in Bright Promise, sell energy cells for 12, which in this case, this is true. But they, because it's sold by 14, they will never go upstream, so to speak. The next step is here in second contact, which is also within range to 18 billion, where we have another trading station, and this one does have subordinates. They buy energy cells for 14, and this is why the other one is also 14. It was just to match the coming together, so to speak, of these two fluxes of energy cells. So they both are bought at maximum 14 and sold for 16. This means this station, the subordinates from this station, will not sell energy cells to Getsufune, because Getsufune buys them for 10. And because they only sell for 16, this is not a valid destination to sell the energy cells. Where do they sell them to? They sell them upstream even more to Heretic's End, where I have yet another trading station. This trading station, surprise, surprise, buys energy cells for 16. And now, because this is a valid, the subordinates will both deliver here, and the subordinates from this station will buy from the 16 trading stations in second contact and sell them for 80. So we created another stepping stone, and now that 18 is the price that we divide, again, it will not sell downstream, it will sell only upstream to, in this case, our endpoint, which is the player HQ. In this case, I converted it into electronics production, which buys energy cells at max price, which is it's not relevant. As long as it's more than 18 or 18 and above, it will be fine. As you can see, plenty of deliveries queued up to arrive, and energy cells actually is working quite well because it was the first thing I set up, so it's already quite far along. Right, and also the volume is less. Right, so for the other wares, it's basically the same thing. We have, as I showed before, the mining happening here in Rogue's Demise, and we have traders set up to sell the helium for, in this case, minimum, because again it's the first step, so we will sell for the minimum price. Same for methane and silicon. And as you can see, there are plenty of ships that are already on the way to deliver these wares, and because there is no range problem, there is no need for a stepping stone trading station for these wares. So they are delivered from the trading subordinates to the HQ here. We can see this quickly again if I can click on things. Right, so we have all this already incoming, and but again, I'm not mining all the gases there. I am mining a gas in Getsufune. Which is hydrogen. So you can see there's a few miners, and I have also some traders doing the same thing as we do with energy cells, where we define a selling price. We have a stepping stone station, which is the same one for energy in second contact, which is buying hydrogen for 49 and selling it for 55. Same principle, because again it's more expensive, it will only move in one direction. In this case, again, to Heretic's End, where there is another trading station that buys hydrogen for 55 and sells it for 60. And again, we have some ships already delivering and some ships selling the wares where we want them. So yeah, so this is hopefully explained logical enough that that's how you can create Ware distribution across the whole map if you need to. Obviously, you can mine locally and you can create self-sufficient if you want, but I just thought it was fun to create production stations in one case. In this case here, the theme is that Oceans of Felt is a terraforming space, so might need eventually huge production for wares to terraform that planet. So one way, instead of putting all the production of all the wares there, you could spread them around the galaxy where, for whatever reasons, and this way create some soft logistics that moves wares. Obviously, the more wares you have on a trading station, the more complex it gets, and the more your traders will share the wares. So it can get a bit convoluted after a while. And obviously, if you really want to be more hands-on and be more specific on how much you want where, repeat orders or more. But the downside for repeat orders is you have to set them up one by one. In this case, once I set up the trading station, all I have to do is add ships. So for example, if I see that the wares that are not moved fast enough, I just add more traders, or more L traders, or more M traders, or miners, or whatever it's needed, and the settings are always the same. So yeah, anyway, so hope this was somewhat helpful. Catch you in the next one.